My name is William Negley. I'm the founder and CEO of SoundOff. Today I just want to quickly explain what SoundOff is, where we fit into the broader veteran service member mental health support space, and give you a quick demo of our technology, both from the perspective of a veteran service member or intelligence community officer seeking help, but also from the clinician or peer providing help. So tragically, you may be familiar with this number. Whether the number is 22 a day or 17 a day, that's really largely a function of who's being counted at any given time. Tragically, we know the problem isn't really getting better, but we would strongly argue that this is largely a symptom of a number of structural problems in how we provide mental health support to veterans and service members in this country. And the particular problem that we are laser focused on at SoundOff is this right here. This is from RAND. The exact statistic is that 47% of post 9/11 veterans and service members who have deployed, who meet the definition of major depression or PTSD, have not sought help in the last year. Of those who do seek help, half of them don't receive what we call minimally adequate care. So the question as we reframe it is, how is it that we spend billions of dollars a year on this problem? VA, DOD, nonprofit, state, local, and only half of those that are suffering the most seek help, let alone those that are not yet in acute crisis. The answer is that we do not structure help in a way that is culturally, bureaucratically, psychologically accessible to the men and women who need it. Again, a lot of research has been done on the barriers to treatment for veterans and service members. Let me show you how SoundOff sort of captures this data. There are 4 primary barriers to entry which prevent veterans and service members from seeking out or effectively engaging with mental health support. Geography, I live too far away. Bureaucracy, takes too long, it's too complicated, it's too expensive, I may not be allowed to get help. Trust, I don't want to talk to a doctor. Maybe I'll talk to somebody that's been there, but I don't want to talk to a doctor and I don't want to take the meds. And finally, and most significantly, a personal and professional desire for anonymity. We don't typically talk about that way. What we talk about is stigmatization, but it's really important to distinguish between cultural stigmatization, I don't want my friends, family, community to know that I'm seeking help, and concern of professional blowback. 2 separate things, both can be real. This is where SoundOff enters the picture. SoundOff is an IT platform which allows veterans and service members the ability to develop long-term relationships with clinicians or screened and trained peers we call battle buddies, while maintaining complete anonymity. We assign the veteran or service member a unique username. They come back to the platform using that username, engage with that same clinician or peer, and hence maintain their anonymity. So let me show you exactly what this looks like. Here you're seeing a clinician we've lovingly referred to as Billy Crystal, who's already onboarded onto our platform. If you're interested in learning more about the onboarding of a clinician or battle buddy, you can see that in a separate video. And then we have a veteran or service member or IC officer who's never touched our platform before. So we're going to come in and say, I'm a veteran or service member seeking help. We ask them for a password. They agree to our privacy policy and terms of use, creating a second PIN. And this is the whole magic behind SoundOff. We don't have this individual's name, their email address, their phone number. We know they've self-identified as a veteran, service member, or a IC officer, intelligence community officer, and they're Whitebird 575. ALP is just because this is our alpha demo build. So we say, yep, I've saved this user ID. And here we have our 3 core channels of support. So Clara is a piece of technology we've worked with X2AI. It's a clinically validated chatbot. It provides veterans, service members, and IC officers, those seeking help, an opportunity to learn a little bit about Sound Off, but then it can also actually provide some care itself. And then we have our battle buddies, our peers, our clinicians, and the VA crisis line is always available. So sponsored relationships are a really powerful piece of how Sound Off operates. If you are from a community that is supported by an organization with which we've partnered, that organization may be providing clinicians, may be providing peers, or may be providing funding to pay for clinicians who we contract. So we would encourage veterans and service members and IC officers who are from one of these communities to self-identify, to expand the opportunities of support. But if you are not from one of these communities, we're working every day to expand our own independent resources that would be available to you as well. So we're going to say, for the time being, we're going to say I was with Naval Special Warfare. If you want to speak to a clinician, we have to know what state you're in. You can always go into the settings and change your state of residency. And so now we're into our list of clinicians. So this list is, the reason for this list is complex. It has to do with state licensure. It has to do with some volunteering, some being compensated by other organizations. For the time being, we're just going to come in and we're going to say, I want to talk to Billy Crystal. It's really important that somebody seeking help on our platform take these informed consents and these terms of use seriously and read them. It's you know, we put a lot of effort into this, and it's significant to understanding how you're engaging with care on our platform. So this alarm that you're hearing is this pairing between Billy Crystal and our veteran service member IC officer seeking help. So the idea is to offer times that you might be available to speak in the next several days. Hi, can we talk tomorrow evening? So Billy Crystal is going to come in, go down to Whitebird, and say, sure, sounds good, talk at 5. So the ask of clinicians is not, and the expectation of those seeking help should not be an immediate conversation. Rather, it is exactly what we've just shown you. It's scheduling that initial appointment to find a time to speak. So let's fast forward to tomorrow at 5, and what you're going to see me do is hit this button right here. And so what's occurring here is a VoIP call internal to the application that, again, we're able to facilitate without having any identifying information on that veteran service member or IC officer. We've worked with a partner organization to develop a set of surveys that are pushed to the clinician, the peer, and the veteran service member themselves. They're tailored appropriately. They're never identifying. There's not even an opportunity to be identifying because we don't allow for free text feedback, but we ask clinicians and those seeking help and the battle buddies to fill them in to help us just make sure we're doing what we are trying to do. So we say talk same time next week, and our clinician comes in. Sets our appointment for the same time next week. The clinician should then, or the battle buddy then comes in and logs the session. This is important for a variety of reasons. We log the session, and that's really fundamentally it. So let me just go back to our slide deck here, and then we'll wrap up. I just want to go back to those barriers to entry that we were working to address. Geography. The only geographic limitation is that the clinician is licensed in the state that the veteran or service member is in. We handle that in engineering level. A peer, a battle buddy can speak to anybody anywhere, and of course Claire is available anywhere. Bureaucracy, you've just seen the entire experience from those seeking help. Trust, we allow that individual to speak with a peer, a screened and trained peer, or a clinician. And while it is not necessary to move into a clinical relationship, we think allowing that veteran service member IC officer to engage with the clinician, or engage with the peer initially, may mean they're more likely down the road to engage with the clinician. And when they choose, if and when they choose to do so, they don't have to go find a clinician, they don't have to find an organization, they hit a button, they're talking to a clinician. And finally, and most significantly, and why we started this organization and our real core focus here is true, no kidding, anonymity. It's not confidentiality, it's not I know who you are, but I promise I won't tell anyone. I like to say that the police could knock on our door and say, tell me who Whitebird 575 is, and our answer would be, we literally cannot answer that question. Now, critically, what that individual seeking help has chosen to disclose to that clinician or that peer is between them, and of course we know the identity of the clinician that they're engaging with, but you're never required to expose identifying information to that clinician or peer, but just be aware that if you do, they can reasonably be expected to act on that. So that's Sound Up. I hope this is helpful. You watch the other videos on our site, and appreciate your interest. Thank you.